good morning and welcome back to the Breakfast Club. You're with me, Jessie Chahal, and I am seated next to the very talented Mr. Eddie How are you today, Eddie?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, pleasure. Thanks for being on the show. Eddie is a portrait photographer, and he calls his blog The Art of Eddie Putera, a display of colours and provocations amidst the wilderness of senses.
Wow.
Now this sounds
quite a mouthful.
Quite a mouthful. Sounds very interesting, very intricate. Tell us a bit more about yourself, Eddie.
Okay, I'm now a full-time photographer. I do this professionally. I have a studio in Kota Damansara. Apart from that, I do paint, do a little bit of artwork, just as a hobby now. It used to be the only thing that I do, but about 5 years ago, I turned pro as a professional photographer, and it goes now. I'm a photographer.
Turn pro. Okay, photography has always been, I think a lot of people are very passionate about that. I think of late we've also seen a lot of people take up this as an interest and as a hobby.
It become more affordable.
Okay.
And the first thing they do when they pick up a camera is, hey, how can I make money with this?
Yes.
Because, but it's not as easy as that. It's not just about learning the camera. It's about learning the art of photography.
The art of photography, and of course you have to have the eye for it.
Yes,
you have to have the eye for it.
It can be acquired. It's an acquired thing. Some people are born with it.
Born with it.
But some people, yes, you can learn.
You can develop that.
You can develop the art.
We see some pictures here on the screen. Now, from your point of view, from your eye, what is photography to you? If you can define that for us, from your point of view.
Okay. If you Google for definition of photography, there'll be hundreds of different definitions by different people.
Right.
I've looked at all the definitions, and over the years, I came to a conclusion, in my humble conclusion, to my opinion, it's a matter of expressing. Photography is an art of expressing. You are communicating with your audience. Okay. You are expressing what you see as a photographer, and you transform that into a visual that inspires people, that can touch the feelings, the emotion, that can evoke.
You say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Oh, yes.
Perhaps even 1,000,000 words through. Some of your pictures I've seen are very, very interesting. What sort of pictures do you take?
I for work. I photograph events, functions, and I do a lot of corporate works. I do a little bit of pre-nets for the pre-net people. But for passion, I love to go to the streets and record live as it is.
Oh, I think that's very, very. You always can tell the story of what is happening, sort of a live broadcast, if you may.
See, especially in towns, in big cities, people go to work 9 to 5 every day. They drive from home to office every day. They, in that rush, they fail to see what lies in between. From home to the office.
We rather don't stop to smell the roses.
Yeah, they can't afford to do it. It's either go in the car, home, go in the car, office.
Yes.
So, and there's many things happening on the street, and it changes every day as the economy changes from time to time. So I do that during my free time. I go on the streets with one camera. Sometimes I don't even take pictures, observe, and come back another day just to capture the pictures for everyone else to see.
That is truly artistic. I mean, just being a silent observer and then keeping mind frames, like snapshots in your head, and coming back to capture those moments.
I can't write, I can't sing, so I take pictures.
But you can take pictures and you can paint. Tell us a bit about your background. How did you even get started in this line?
Okay, it started not very long time ago, in 1987.
That's not too long ago,
when I did my degree in architecture. Now, part of the thing, the soft skills that I need to pick up during that degree course is photography, because I need to go around and photograph existing buildings, interesting historical buildings. So instead of getting a small camera like everyone else, I decided to invest on a SLR.
Okay.
There's no digital at that time. It cost a lot of money. I had to eat it lasts for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then I take lousy pictures with the camera.
Okay.
Because
you were just getting started.
Yeah, and it's not an easy camera to start with. So I just said, hey, I better, I spend a lot of money on this camera, so I better learn how to use it. So there's no turning back.
No turning back.
No turning back.
Once you pick up on something you're passionate about, you
That's
go
it.
all the way.
Yep.
Now, each artist, and I would like to think that you are an artist in its purest form. Each artist has their own strengths. They've got their own style, their own touch. Some artists who paint have a lot of strokes they use. Some do very sort of black and white pictures. What is your speciality, you think?
Okay, before we go into that, let's try to define art. It's very difficult to do it.
Yes.
Lots and lots of definition of art. Similar to my definition of photography, it has to be an expression of something. Okay, it has to trigger and evoke emotions.
Okay, I think that's the key point.
Yeah.
Trigger and evoke emotions.
To your viewers. Certain things happens when you put something on display, be it a painting, sculpture, or photography. You must be able to stop people in tracks. tracks. For example, if you put your painting somewhere on the wall, people walking by, when people stop and look and try to interpret, look and interpret, it doesn't matter if they like it or not. But if they stop and look and try to interpret and relate to their life, that is good enough to be considered as art to me. Okay?
Right.
It need not be beauty, because beauty, inherent beauty varies from one human being to another.
Each their own.
To each their own. And you cannot have everyone to love what you do.
Sure.
But if they start to interpret and create that reaction after that, and wherever you put up your thing, create a reaction, that, in my humble opinion again, that could be termed as art. Now, if that doesn't happen, if all those doesn't happen, people pass by your painting or photos, people keep browsing and without stopping at your photo. If that doesn't happen, it's just
another picture.
Just another picture. Just an attempt to create something creative.
I remember some time ago we had a National Geographic photographer who won an award for the Afghan girl.
Yes,
remember with the piercing eyes.
McCurry,
Yes, and that stopped. I mean, the world, everyone just stopped to look at that picture, and it was very. It evoked a lot of emotion.
Yes.
Sort of the pain in her eyes.
And you can interpret. Everyone interprets it differently. Yep. A beautiful girl. Some interpret a poor little girl. That I think is good enough to be interpreted as art.
So again, what is your USP?
My style now is, I photograph a lot of genres. I go from street to, I don't do landscapes, but streets and others. But I like to do portraits. I love to do portraits because my role as a photographer, for example, I photograph you, I would.
Sorry, I was just posing. Sorry.
I want to transmit you to your viewers. Meaning, when someone look at your photo, if that someone can read you just from looking at the photos, can understand you, I think my work is done. And if you look at most of my portraits, that is what I portray. It's not simply picking up the camera, looking at beautiful girls and click, 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 click. It's not about me. It's about satisfying the viewer, telling the viewers what you are.
That is beautiful. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the art of Eddieputera. Now, you have a workshop that's upcoming. Could you tell us a bit about that, its content and syllabus?
Yeah, in fact, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Okay.
It's a 2-day workshop teaching photographers to specialize in the work of portraiture.
Okay. Yeah, so it can be any level, beginners, intermediate.
That is quite advanced.
Okay.
I do have the other module, which I call it creating your own masterpiece.
Okay.
That module is to elevate from snapshots, just normal shots, to creating something that we can call a masterpiece.
Now, are your pictures mostly raw, or do you use any software to play with the colors?
Yes. There are two schools of thoughts in photography.
Okay.
One is purely from camera to the output, to print or website or whatever. The other one is you must complete the workflow. Back in the film days, before digital, the workflow involves putting in the film in the camera, shooting, developing, in the darkroom during printing, and to print in the darkroom and produce. Now, that process in the darkroom has now in the digital days, you do that on the computer.
On Adobe or whatever.
Adobe. So it's the complete cycle. It's the complete process. If you don't edit your pictures, you do not complete the process. That is my school of thought. You have to complete the workflow to produce the end result.
That is beautiful. I wish I have taken up photography so I could attend your workshop tomorrow.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. I think everybody armed with a camera in their hand can capture some of the best moments in their lives. You know, whether it's your family.
You just need to think what you want to produce. If you have envision the end result,
yes,
I think everyone can.
Perfect.
Good pictures.
Where can our viewers go to find you on Facebook and on Twitter?
Okay, I'm on Facebook. It's Eddieputera.
Okay.
Facebook at Eddieputera. I'm revamping the website, so it's not up yet, but you can find me on Facebook. And
you have a blogspot, right? eddieputera.blogspot.com.
Yeah, but I've not been updating that for
but some very nice pictures on that as well. I had a quick look at it. So there you go, on Facebook or on Twitter you can find Eddie Putera, or you can of course do the thing we all do, Google, to find out some of your best work. And the workshop that's coming up tomorrow, where will the workshop be?
In my studio in Kota Damansara.
In Kota Damansara. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you again for having me.
Eddie,
it was an
absolute pleasure. I hope we can take some snaps after this.
Oh yeah,
and see how they turn out.
Right,
we'll be back at 9:30 for more on the Breakfast Club. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Kupasan isu-isu semasa bersama tokoh dan personaliti berwibawa, pendedahan isu-isu menarik, semuanya dalam Hello Malaysia di Bernama